चार्टर एक्ट। तो पहले हमने रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट की बात करी थी 1773 की, उसके बाद हमने इंप्रूवमेंट्स की बात करी 1781 में 1784 में, और उसके बाद हमने चार्टर एक्ट 1813 की बात करते हैं। तो हर 20 साल के अंदर एक बार ये एक्ट आते हैं, एवरी 20 years these act came। तो चार्टर एक्ट 1793 आया था पहले, देन आफ्टर दैट चार्टर एक्ट 1813। So this act we have already studied. So we will study about Charter Act 1813. Okay. So यहाँ पे क्या होता है? What we have studied in this trade monopoly. Trade monopoly means कि only one company have the right to trade with India. That is East India Company. So they have extended it for 20 years. So in every 20 years, the British government review the system. ठीक है? So what it meant by 1813? What changes it brought? Its first changes you can write. It abolished the trade monopoly of the company in India. So it abolished the trade monopoly. It abolished the trade monopoly. It abolished the trade monopoly of the company in India. It abolished the trade monopoly of the company in India. Now, the Indian trades, the trade of India in Britain was thrown open to all of them, all of the other companies, because there was an increasing pressure from British people to give a share in the trade with India because it was very profitable trade. So that is why it was thrown open to all the British merchants. Now every company can come and do trade in India, but there is a check. What is the check? The trade in two things. Trade in tea was retained with EIC only, and trade with China is retained with EIC only. ठीक है? No other company was allowed to participate in these two trades. Except these two, every other company can participate in any kind of trade with India. So this is the first point. Second, it asserted the sovereignty of the British Crown over the company's territory in India. Second point, sovereignty of the British. Sovereignty. Second point is sovereignty. It asserted the sovereignty of the British Crown. So, sovereign, who is sovereign is British Crown. The British Crown is sovereign. British Crown is sovereign over what? Over all the territories of India. Of all the territories of East India Company in India. All the territories of East India Company in India. ठीक है? फिर third point is it allowed, very important, it allowed Christian missionaries. It allowed the Christian missionaries to carry their activity in India. It allowed the Christian missionaries to come to India and for the purpose of enlightenment of the people. That means they have come here to spread Christianity and convert the people of India. So what they have done is, when they came, they targeted these areas of northeast especially and more of tribal areas. So here these areas, Himalayan belt, this is more or less tribal people, and other parts of India where tribals are located. Tribals means Janjati. So they have no religion of like Hindu, Muslim, Sikh. So they came and they said that you are the child of Christian, and Jesus. Okay, you are the child of Jesus. So this is how they try to spread the Christian religion in India. The other point is, it provided the spread of Western education among inhabitants of British territory. So the other point is spread of education. Western education basically, not world languages. Western education. It provided for the spread of education among the inhabitants of British territory in India. That means, what does it mean?
Basically, it triggered the spread of Western.
It started like Western type of education in India. So apart from vernaculars and Indian form of education, they also provided like some form of Western education, which included modern science and modern technologies, modern philosophies. So this is how the Indians, educated Indian in the later period will be importing the ideas of Western philosophies, and then they will implement in 1900 something in India. Okay. Then next point, it advised the local government of India to impose taxes on person. Means local government is what? Local government is panchayats and municipalities. This is the form of local government we see today. So they allow them to impose taxes. They allow them to impose taxes on local people. They allow them to impose taxes on local people. This is all about the Charter Act of 1813. The Charter Act of 1813 includes the most important point. Tea. This tea and this trade with China. This was only retained with EIC. No other company from Britain is allowed to participate in this, and no other nation could also participate in this trade because China, because British was having a monopoly or having the muscle power to stop others. The other important point is Christian missionaries. Okay. The sovereignty of crown was recognized in this. Sovereignty of crown was recognized in this. Then they targeted tribals. Actually, because of this point, because it is easy to convert those who don't know about religion. If you know about your religion, then it is difficult to convince you. So that is why they targeted these people. Then other point is education and local government taxes. Taxes to local. The next topic is Charter Act of 1833. Next topic is Charter Act of 1823. So in every 20 years, these Charter Acts will come. In every 20 years, these Charter Acts will come. So this was the final step toward the centralization. So this is the final step toward centralization. What do you mean by centralization?
Central government or central control?
Centralization means power is centralized. More and more power will be accumulated in center, and less power will be allocated to others. Less and less power will be allocated to others. Okay. Centralization. Which is good? Centralization or decentralization?
Decentralization.
See, some form of centralization is important. Like in general, decentralization is also required, because if this is more, then action will be like USSR broken into Russia and other countries because of excess centralization. If this is excess, then it is also difficult, and if this is excess, then the country will be divided into number of states. So mix of both is good for India or for others. So this is the difference. Then the features kya hai? It made the Governor General of Bengal the Governor General of India. This is very important. Very important. Governor General of India. Sorry, Governor General of Bengal. Governor General of Bengal is changed name to Governor General of India. It made Governor General of Bengal to Governor General of India. Post name is changed. Name of post changed in this. And all civil and military powers is vested in him. All civil and military powers is vested in him. All civil and military power is vested in Governor General of India. Governor General of India. See, Governor General of Bengal already having the subordinate of Madras and Bombay province. Madras and Bombay province. Governor of Madras and Governor of Bombay were subordinate to Governor General of Bengal. So, in order to show central things, so center should have more power. So that is why they have represented it as India. So that means it is like of kind of central power, like Modi ji today, Modi government. This is the center. So this is kind of center, and these are state governments. These kind of state provinces. Provinces means state. Provinces means state. larger power. Such the act created for the first time government of India having authority over the entire territorial area possessed by British in India. So this act provided for a central government which is having its power over entire territory of the British East India Company. ठीक है? Lord William Bentinck was the first Governor General. So this is the most asked question in exam. Who is the first Governor General of India? Who is the first Governor General of Bengal? Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings was first Governor General of Bengal in 1773. And who is the first Governor General of India?
Lord Cornwall.
No, that was second. That was second. First Governor General of India. अभी बोला मैंने.
क्या था? William
William Bentinck. Warren Hastings was Governor General of Bengal. तो पहला गवर्नर देखो, फर्स्ट गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल फर्स्ट कौन सा था?
William Bentinck.
Warren Hastings. और फर्स्ट गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया विलियम बेंटिक. तो लॉर्ड इज लॉर्ड विलियम बेंटिक. लॉर्ड विलियम बेंटिक. देखो लास्ट क्या चलेगा? लास्ट गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल. लास्ट गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल and first Governor General of India. They can ask question. Who is the last Governor General of Bengal?
So the post was removed totally. The government
Post name was changed. Governor General of Bengal से Governor General of India. But the person was same. Suppose you were appointed as Governor General of Bengal. Suddenly we made the change in name of post. But then you will continue the post now. So person will same, but post name is different. तो गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल से गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया हो गया. तो ये क्वेश्चन बनता है एग्जाम का. लास्ट गवर्नर जनरल बंगाल कौन था? पहला गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया कौन? नहीं, लास्ट गवर्नर जनरल कौन था? विलियम बेंटिक. फर्स्ट गवर्नर जनरल वॉरेन हेस्टिंग्स. सेकंड कौन था? कॉर्नवालिस. ठीक है, ये मैंने पढ़ा था कल.
William Bentinck was not the Governor General of India.
William Bentinck was the first governor.
Also last Governor General of Bengal.
This is the person
Governor
William
General
Bentinck.
Bengal.
This is the person William Bentinck. See, when he was appointed, there was a post named by Governor General of Bengal. So he became Governor General of Bengal. Then this Charter Act came. This Charter Act came. By this charter, the post name of this Governor General of Bengal became Governor General of India to show the centralization tendency. ठीक है? So that is why ये last भी था और ये first भी था. लास्ट कौन था? गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल. फर्स्ट कौन था? गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया. सेम पर्सन. आंसर सेम ही होगा दोनों क्वेश्चन का. ठीक है? अब देखो, इट डिप्राइव्ड द गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल एंड मद्रास ऑफ देयर लेजिस्लेटिव पावर्स. अब यहाँ पे एक चीज हो गई वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. लेजिस्लेटिव पावर क्या होती है आपको मालूम है? व्हाट इज द लेजिस्लेटिव पावर? मेन जो पावर है इसकी लेजिस्लेटिव की, दैट इज लॉ मेकिंग पावर. लॉ मेकिंग पावर मींस अभी क्या है? Madras and Bombay, these two states were snatched the power of legislation and it was given to Governor General of India. That is why the name of post has been changed to show the tendency of centralization. That is why I said the centralization tendency has increased because see earlier these provinces can also make laws, but now only this can make law. The legislative power of these two provinces, Bombay and Madras, were snatched and were given to this center that is called Bengal, and that is called Governor General of India. So, Bengal was made kind of capital. Okay. The Governor General of India was given the exclusive legislative power of entire British India. That means, अगर हम आज के हिसाब से पूछें, देखें, तो राज्य के पास जो अपने यहाँ पे क्या है? सेंट्रल लिस्ट है, स्टेट लिस्ट है, सेंट्रल लिस्ट है, स्टेट लिस्ट और कंकरेंट लिस्ट है. These three subjects are there. In this list, center can make laws. In this thing, state can make laws, and in this thing, center and state both can make laws. But if collision happens, then center will be more powerful. That means center said yes to yes, center said no to no. So these two will be with center, and this is with state. Suppose center want to make a law on this subject, then it has to take permission from Rajya Sabha. Okay. So this is another matter. We will study in detail. But for now, what I was saying, Governor General of India was given exclusive power for entire British India. That means he in whole territory of British East India Company territories, the power of law making is with whom? After this act, Governor General of India, and it was snatched from other governors of Madras and Bombay. Okay. The law made under the previous act were called as the regulations. The law made under the previous act were called regulations, while made under this act was called acts. So previously we were talking about regulations, but now अब जो laws इसके अंदर बनेंगे, the laws which we are making in this, these were called laws. So it ended the activities of East India Company as a commercial body. So it ended the activities of East India Company as commercial body. It ended the which become a purely administrative body. So now EIC become what? EIC become administrative body. Administration means प्रशासनिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बॉडी में प्रशासनिक की भैया आप सिर्फ गवर्न करोगे, आप सिर्फ रूल करोगे, हम जो बोलेंगे उसको। अब आपका जो ये कमर्शियल वाला फंक्शन है ना, ये खत्म हो गया, ऐसा इस एक्ट में बोला गया। कमर्शियल मींस कॉमर्स, ट्रेड कॉमर्स करते ना, दैट इज कमर्स। इंपॉर्टेंट चीज और इसके बाद आगे चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1833 tried to introduce open competition tried to introduce open competition for civil services, tried to introduce open competition for civil servant, and started the Indians should not be debarred from holding any place. That means this act was trying to place some Indians in bureaucracy. That means government jobs. It only simply means this act provided to give some government jobs to Indians also, to include Indians in administration also, because it was not possible to bring so many people from there. Britain, see, they mainly bring higher class people like Governor General, governors, but not low class people, na? So there was very less number of British. But this was not implemented here. This will be implemented later. But it was introduced, because it was said in the act. But actually, what happened? The people started negotiating, or means opposing the things. Na? English people, they started opposing things. Why are you giving powers to Indians? So. However, this provision was negated after opposition from the Code of Director. What is Code of Director? I said you earlier. So COD, Code of Director. Code of Director is
the body
of Code of Director, like kind of Code of Director. So they try to control civil things, commercial things. So that they opposed it. So that is why these things have been stopped. Now next is Charter Act of 1853. Next is Charter Act of 1853. This is Charter Act of 1853. So this is the last Charter Act, because after that 1857 revolt के बाद company's power will be given wholly to Prince Crown. So Crown will be taking over, because of the policies of company, the people have revolted. So the British government did not want to take any chances, so they took the power, and then after that sufficient power will be given to Indians, and from time to time. So Charter Act 1853. So this is the last Charter Act passed by the British Parliament. So it was a significant constitutional remark. The features क्या हैं इसके? It separated the first time legislative and executive function of the government. So एक दो function होते हैं ना? ये होता है legislative function. This is another is executive function, right? First is legislative function. Another one is executive function. What is legislative function and what is executive function? First of the question is this. कि पहले legislative और executive समझते हैं क्या होता है? एक बार लिखते हैं legislative. This is executive. Legislative is more or less law making. Act, constitutional amendment वगैरह सब इसमें आते हैं. And this is execution of thing. Execution of the act of the law. तो छोटे मोटे law होते हैं वो executive कुछ बना लेते हैं. तो in इंडिया में क्या सिस्टम है अभी एट प्रेजेंट, हम लोग उसकी बात करते हैं। जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे सेंटर की बात करेंगे सिर्फ, ओनली सेंटर। पार्लियामेंट होती है, दिस इज पार्लियामेंट, दिस इज पार्लियामेंट, वी हैव टू सेक्शन लोकसभा एंड राज्यसभा। सो दिस लोकसभा एंड राज्यसभा दे आर legislative branch. And if you talk of government, Modi ji, PMA scheme, government of the day, COM, Council of Ministers, and Pradhan Mantri, Prime Minister. COM includes Home Minister, Defense Minister, Finance Minister, Agriculture Minister, etc. etc. तो ये सारे ministers, this is Council of Ministers. So इसके अंदर एक core group और होता है, उसको बोलते हैं cabinet. You may have heard in the news, cabinet ministers. Cabinet are the senior members or most important crucial members. Cabinet is like core. Say if this is COM, then this will be cabinet. So this is core, very important. And these are the this may include new ministers. Suppose आप minister बन गए, तो you will not be included in cabinet. You have to gain experience as COM first, 5 to 10 year experience, then you will be promoted to this based on your performance. ठीक है? निर्मला सीतारमण, she performed good. So that is why she was given the portfolio of finance minister. है ना? Nitin Gadkari, he is doing immensely good work. So he is also cabinet minister. Ministry of Home Affairs, cabinet minister. ठीक है? Home minister कौन है?
अमित शाह.
ठीक है? So this is legislative part and this is executive part. So this is temporary, and there is one more thing, permanent bureaucracy. That is also part of executive. Permanent bureaucracy. See, permanent bureaucracy we will be including it in executive only because they help legislating thing. They help in law making things because the minister cannot make laws because they are not the special agents, specialty. They don't have specialty, but they have the decision making powers. So what bureaucrats will do? They will help in forming a draft. So this draft will be given to these people, and they will discuss it. They will form a joint parliamentary committees, they will discuss it and they will form a report. And based on the report and positive and negative, they will take the decision in favor of nation. ठीक है? This parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and then this will be given to president. President will also included in this. ठीक है? And now this, once the law is passed by this branch, then the law will be executed by this. So law will set a major boundary like this. Law will set a major boundary like this, and the small rules in it will be made by this because day-to-day rules. Suppose they are made a law. Suppose maybe on anything, maybe policy of biofuels, या petroleum, या electric vehicles. So there are small rules. You have to make registration from this date to this date, and between this time to this time. So they will not make these rules. This everyday rules will be made by this thing. But under this framework given by this legislative branch. So this is the law. And the smaller rules will be made by this element. So this is the difference between executive and legislative branch. So in this 1853 Act, what they have done is, for the first time, the legislative and executive function of the Governor General Council was separated. So Governor General Council जो थी, इसके दो functions को separate कर दिया, legislative और executive में, है ना? इसको separate कर दिया. Then it provided for addition of 6 members called legislative council to the council. तो एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल के अंदर इसके 6 मेंबर्स को ऐड किया गया, मतलब 6 members were added to the council of governor general. ठीक है? 6 members were added to the council of governor general. इसको legislative council बोला गया. In other words, it established the separate governor general legislative council. यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा एक्चुअली, ये legislative council है, executive council नहीं है, ये गलत है, ये यहाँ पे आएगा. 6 मेंबर यहाँ आएंगे. जैसे ये आज की जो पार्लियामेंट है हमारी, उसके हिसाब से शुरुआत हो गई बेसिक से, बिल्कुल स्मॉल अमाउंट से. 6 मेंबर्स यहाँ पे डाल दिए. एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल था, लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल ऐड की गई थी. इन अदर वर्ड, इट एस्टैब्लिश्ड अ सेपरेट गवर्नर जनरल लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल व्हिच केम टू बी नोन एज इंडियन लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. इसका नाम क्या पड़ गया? इंडियन लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल या सेंट्रल लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. इंडियन लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल या सेंट्रल लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल. ठीक है?
But the work was handled by COD and BOT. What happened?
COD, BOT are vanished now. See, companies' role is limited. है ना? COD, BOTs are there, but they are only for supervision. Major decision is taken by these things. हाँ, COD is for observation, BOT is for observation. but the functions will be done by them because this is like president of today's. He president की post है governor general, but the power is more with him compared to today's president power because president is only nominal in nature. This is not nominal. This is he is having real powers. The COD and BOD are there for administration, commercial functions and military function and judicial function to check the things. They will present a report to British Parliament, and British Parliament will decide after 20 years what changes we have to introduce, or in between if they think they can be made a changes in the act. Okay. In other words, established. See, the British Parliament knew things are not good with India. They are not doing the correct thing. But what happened is they bribed things. They bribed the people. They bribed the MLA. They bribed the MP over there in England. Robert Clive, I have told you. Robert Clive was there till 1760. I think 60. Yeah, 1760 till 1760 he was there in India. After that he went back. 1765 he again came back. Why? Because in 1764 Battle of Buxar they won the area till Delhi. Shah Alam II was defeated. Awadh was defeated. So from Bengal to Awadh, from Bengal to Delhi, they have the control. So they were not in position to deal with these things. So they called this person called Robert Clive. Robert Clive was given revenue collection right personally, not company wise. Company was given revenue collection right of Bihar, Bengal and Odisha, but this Robert Clive was given revenue collection from 24 Pargana district of Bengal. 24 Pargana district of Bengal. 24 Pargana district of Bengal. अब बंगाल में ना at present में in Bengal we have 24 Pargana district, north and south. One is the constituency of Mamata Banerjee. She filed election from this place. 24. So imagine the thing, you have been given a revenue collection right. That means you become the zamindar of that place. So when he went back in 1760 or 1760, so he took 3 big ships full of gold, full of material in it, and he eventually bribed the things, bribed the people were there, and he bought an MP seat. Corruption charges were made against him. Committees were sent against him, but he bribed them too. And he suicide. He did suicide in 1774, 1772 something. After that. Now next point is the legislative wing of the council function as a mini parliament. So what do you mean by parliament? Parliament is law-making body. So this 6-member team with Governor General is a law-making body. So this is called mini parliament because it's small in size, but it was a kind of law-making body. That is why mini parliament adopting the same procedure as British Parliament. So it was working on the parallel lines, same lines as British Parliament was working at that time. British Parliament in England. This is working in England and this is working in India. Okay. 6-member Governor General Council. Legislative one. This legislation for the first time was treated as a special function of the government requiring special machinery and special process. Thus, for the first time, governing function was defined in a proper way. This law-making things were defined in a proper way with having proper bureaucracy or proper staff and proper management. Okay. And special attention was given to it. So it introduced an open competition system of selection and recruiting civil services. It again introduced open competition system. Open competition system. Open competition system. Open competition system for civil servants. Civil servants. The covenanted civil services was thrown open to Indians also. So यहाँ पे Indian was also given a chance to participate in open civil service competition. Like today we are giving UPSC civil service exam. At that time it was ICS, Indian Civil Services exams. So according to the Macaulay committee was appointed in 1854. So under this provision, this civil servants thing, this provision committee was named as Macaulay committee 1854 के अंदर. It extended the company's rule and allowed it to deal in the possession of Indian territory on trust for the British Crown. It extended the company rule and allowed it to retain the possession of Indian territory on trust for British Crown. So it did not specify any particular period unlike the previous one. The other thing is, important is, in previous charter they have mentioned for 20 years.